All right, so chapter 2, we are talking about engagement, and more importantly, we're going to be talking about how to stay engaged in your academic pursuits and motivation. So let's get right to it. The main thing I want to point out about chapter 2 is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So Maslow came up with this theory, which is a hierarchy of needs, and you'll see at the bottom of the base is your basic needs. So your physiological needs: food, water, warmth, rest, and then your need to feel safe and secure. This is important, and you need to know this for the final, so I'm just letting you know that straight out of the gate. But I had a student once that was doing some things that were just so aggravating to me. And he was a part of an organization. He was in a leadership position. And I just felt like he wasn't taking it seriously. I had a very strict rule on our study tables. And he would just show up and eat pizza and leave. And he was in a leadership role. And it just ticked me off. It really just ticked me off. Because I felt like he was just being defiant. And he was modeling bad behavior for the rest of the organization and the rest of the members. So I was really frustrated with him. I tried to talk to him. You know, he would say okay, but he would still do the same thing. I had the president talk to him. He would say okay, he would still do the same thing. You know, so months later he comes to me. He says, you know, I really need help. And I'm like, okay, well, what is it that you need? And he said, I'm homeless. I don't have anywhere to live. And he goes into telling me about how he's taking a night class, and you know, on the days that he has his night class, he has to find out where he can stay from night to night because the beds at the shelter are already taken by the time he gets out of class. And so immediately I was compassionate for him, but you know, it all made sense. Everything made sense. When he told me, when he gave me that information, it just made sense. He was coming to study tables. He was in class, so he couldn't stay. But he knew that that was all he was going to be able to eat. So he would eat his pizza and then he would go back to class. And he wasn't being defiant. He was just trying to survive. He needed food. He needed water, he needed warmth, and he needed a place to rest his head. So it's really difficult if you don't have those basic needs, if you don't have those basic physiological needs and those basic safety needs, to really worry about anything else when you're just concerned with surviving. Okay? So the next level of the hierarchy of needs is belongingness. And love needs, and that comes from our need as humans to be around and connected to other people. Intimate relationships, friendships, that's important. We need other people to affirm us and to love us and to feel like we belong. Okay, and then above that is esteem. You know, that feeling of prestige and accomplishment, and that you've done, you know, feel like you've done something worth accomplishing, and feeling like you're valuable, and that you are valued. And when you feel like you're valuable and you're valued, that's when we get into self-actualization. And that is when a person is able to achieve the full potential. That is where our creativity lies. That is where we are self-fulfilled. That is where, you know, we it's beyond just feeling like accomplished, but this is where we believe that we can accomplish things, and then we pursue those things. And motivation is housed in self-actualization. I'm going to say that again. Your motivation is housed in self-actualization. So if you have a breakup or you're feeling discouraged, you're not going to have motivation because the esteem needs and the belonging and love needs is lacking. If you are fearful for your safety, you're not going to be motivated to do the things you need to do because your physiological, your basic safety needs aren't met. If you don't have a place to live, if you don't have a place to rest your head every night, if you don't know where your next meal is coming from, it's going to be very difficult to concentrate on school because you have those physiological needs that need to be met. So motivation is housed in self-actualization, which means that you have to have all of these other things met at the base of your pyramid before you can be motivated to do well in school. All right. So I just really wanted to point that out to you. There are some other things in the book. If you read chapter 2, which you should have, there it talks about all of these things, about fear, about having a new perspective, getting a new attitude, negative speech and how that affects you, and I've given you guys information on that before. Being able to see things clearly, having clear goals, being proud of yourself, all of those different things. Now, what I was going to have us do was construct guiding statements at the end of the chapter. I would still like you to do that. Unfortunately, we won't be able to discuss it and talk about it in class. Well, maybe we might. But I still want you to go through, and it's the knowledge in bloom in page chapter 2, and it's like a page of, you know, just kind of self-reflection and being able to write your guiding statement using the values that you think are important. So I would like you guys to do that. And then I have a video, and I will link this video just because I don't want to put it in this video. But the one thing I do want to leave you with is don't ever quit on a bad day. It's a great piece of advice that I heard last year. And so don't ever quit on a bad day. The only day you'll probably want to quit is on a bad day. If you want to quit on a good day, go ahead and quit. But don't ever quit on a bad day, because it's just a moment in time, and that too shall pass. That is it.